Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's class. I'm gonna give it a minute for people to join. Yeah, I think it cut my welcoming. Welcome, everyone. On today's class, Taiji Qigong Shibashi set 3, movement number 7. Hi, Beth. Welcome. Let's see. Yes, movement number 7, opening heaven and earth. We'll have a nice, interesting movement, slightly different than the way we usually do things in Shibashi, but that will make it more fun. I'll make a warning right away for this one, especially for people who have back issue. Be very mindful for this particular movement. You'll see why as I go through, and I'll repeat this often, but as usual, little disclaimer, I'm not with you in your living room to watch you do the movement, so always be mindful, careful of your own body, be gentle with yourself. And for this particular movement, I'll give a few ways of doing it first so that we don't put too much strain on the spine for those who have issue. If you have herniated disc, that movement might be a little too much for you. If you have any spine issue where you can't bend, you'll have to be a little more careful with it. And I'll give you ways to adapt to that as we're doing it. But it's a movement that's a little bit more physical. So if your general health doesn't allow you to do it fully, reduce the capacity of what you're doing so that you're not gonna injure yourself, and you're careful about it. And if you're not sure, just sit, watch the movement first before doing it. It can be adapted seated, so you could always do it seated to have a little bit more support if that's your case. And if you have any question about it and you're not sure, just let me know either in the chat if you're watching it live, or in the comment section if you're watching the video afterwards. So, hi Jane, welcome. If you're there live and you want to say hi, just write it down in the chat. It will be a pleasure to know a little bit more who's there, because although there's a certain number of people watching live, I usually see the same people writing down. So if you're new and you're live, just say hi. Good. So for today's movement, for today's class, we'll start by redoing all of the movements to really get the chi to move, because we need a bit of a explosiveness to reach towards heaven to make that movement more intense. And since it's number 7, it's usually good to have done the first 6 before we get there, to have enough of the chi movement through our body. Let's see. Let's get started. Feet parallel, gently rocking ourselves front and back, feeling the center spot of our feet, left and right, finding that sweet spot in the middle between both feet where we can have a line that goes through and that passes through the center of our head. If you have a little thingy on top of it, you can align it. Probably just the only one who has that, but you know, aligning that towards heaven so you can feel the energy being centered through your body. Bringing your palms together, feeling how the pelvic bowl is relaxed, gently seated on the legs, although the knees are not bent. We want to keep the legs straight for the beginning, which helps us to have this pull through the body rising up. As we're sitting, we want to make sure that our sacroiliac area is open, so we have this outer line from the sit bone down towards the heels, although we keep our weight at the center of the feet. It's almost like if we're about to sit and our heel would be there to support us if we had to. So opening up the sacroiliac, allowing the tailbone to just tuck under naturally, not moving the hips, not moving the pelvis, but opening the sacroiliac so it's really the tip of the spine that's able to move a little bit like a pendulum towards the front, which then creates this stretch and rippling up through the spine, allowing the head to open up and close down as we exhale. Crossing hands, feeling the abdominal breathing first, and we'll do this kind of step by step today so we can really build up the intensity of Qi so that when we start to see movement number 7, we have the quality and the intensity in order to do it a little better from the start. So if we go abdominal breathing, starting and feeling the lower abdomen, feeling the pressure reaching the perineum, pulling through from the perineum on the tailbone, filling up, opening the back, and then here I'm just turning my palm at the diaphragm level and letting it come back down. So I'm basically inhaling, filling up the abdomen, reaching about the solar plexus height, which is the height of the diaphragm, and then on the exhale, coming back down. So I'm making kind of a small movement through the abdomen, allowing my arms to reach almost the vertical line of my, the horizontal line, sorry, of my forearms, and coming back down. Inhale. And for now, I'm not engaging the thoracic breathing, I'm just staying with abdominal breathing. Feeling the interplay of pressure from the diaphragm as I inhale. And the relaxation, the return of the blood to the organ on the exhale, filling up and kind of creating this heavier feeling into the lower abdomen. So although there's more pressure on the inhale, it kind of creates a lighter feeling, and then on the exhale, the heaviness of the fluids coming back makes it a little stronger. Now engaging with thoracic breathing as I inhale. Up, feeling the abdomen and then the sinking of the shoulder blade, which will start the rotation through the humerus, bringing the palm up in front of the neck. And then I'm just going to come back down on the exhale. So I'm doing bit by bit this first movement to really start to feel the rising of the Qi through the torso, so that when we reach number 7, the rising is strong and present. Up, finding the opening of the shoulder well, the balance of the shoulder blade, and then the exhale, sinking the Qi back into the lower abdomen. Inhaling up. Turning the palm, exhale, coming down. Up and down. And feeling how the abdominal breathing first, the thoracic breathing, filling everything up, and on the exhale, coming down. Now rising all the way up above the head, abdominal, thoracic, upper thoracic. Turning the palm, sinking on the exhale, letting the chi gently come back down into the lower abdomen. Inhaling. Extending up towards the sky without lifting the shoulders, keeping the shoulders relaxed by sinking the shoulder blades. Turning the palm, exhaling. Relaxing the body more and more, feeling the heaviness coming back down into the lower abdomen. Inhaling up. Exhale. And following your own rhythm, if your breath is a little faster, you can do the movement faster than I am. And if your breath is slower and longer, do it a little slower. Follow the rhythm of your breath. Follow the movement of chi through your body. If you can't feel it yet, just enjoy the movement. It will come. The less we think about it, the more chance it has to reveal itself. Because if we think, we're not observing what's going on. We're making noise. If we're quiet, then we can see. Up. Feeling the sinking of the chi through the body down to the perineum. Again, back up, one more. And down. Actually, changing the class plan. We'll work with this one and we'll go straight into number 7. So we'll use the first movement to help increase a little more the rising, feeling this connection up. Turning the palm, allowing it to sink into the lower abdomen, maybe even feeling it all the way down to the feet, feeling the rising, like a wave going through the body, connecting to the palm and up. And on the exhale, feeling it sink deep into the earth. Bouncing back, inhale. Up, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, one more. Turning the palm, exhale. On the way down, separating the palms, keeping them on both sides, and we'll begin number 7. Inhaling, allowing the arms to rise and connect to heaven. And turning the palm forward, and for now, just letting them come down gently on the side, connecting with the feet deep into the ground. Turning the palm facing each other. Inhale, feeling the rising. Up, turning the palm forward, exhaling, sinking. Again, we're still keeping the legs straight, elongated. Palm face each other, feeling the rising almost like if we're jumping towards the sky, turning the palm, exhale, feeling the chi sink downward, deep into the earth, allowing it to come back and catching the rebound. Up, exhale, letting the arm and the chi sink deep into the earth. Palms face each other. Inhale. It's almost like a fountain passing through the body, rising up, compressing it a little bit, and then allowing it to come back. And down. So the first part of this movement is very dynamic. It's the yang rising through to go up, yang of the body, or yin of the earth becoming more and more yang. So rising and connecting, and then exhaling, going deeper into the earth. Up. So as we're doing this, the breathing is an essential part of it. We have this deep abdominal breathing, this opening through the sacroiliac that helps with the tensegrity through the perineum to pull the tailbone and the sacrum down, which create this ripple rising through the spine. So as I'm here and I'm inhaling, sorry, as I'm here and I'm inhaling, I have this rising going on. And because I have this rising and the spine stretch, as we're reaching up to heaven, there's a bit more of an opening through the front of the chest as well. Up, allowing the stretch not to collapse, so I don't want to bend my back where there would be tension in the middle of my back here, but I want my spine to stretch and to have an elongated position, slight arch through the spine as I'm looking up towards the sky. I want to make sure my head doesn't go too far and affect the position of the neck, so I'm not bending my head to look up, but I want this stretching through my spine up to the top of my head and allowing the head to kind of look a little higher than if I was just purely vertical in this one. So the rising up allows us to connect, and then the palm turn, and we will then go forward. But for now, we're just grasping this first rising of the chi. And as you're coming back down, since we're doing it slower, make sure you feel the connection of your feet deep into the ground. The more you allow your chi, your awareness to sink into the ground, the easier the rising will happen. If you stay too much here, if you're too high and the chi is just kind of buzzing, first you might get a headache, which is not a fun thing to get. But then you won't be able to really sink anymore, and it's not gonna, it'll be difficult to rise and everything will stay there, if that makes sense. So you need, up on the exhale, this rotation of the palm forward, feeling the sinking, connecting through the feet. Up. Up. And down. Now, for the next part of it, I have to reiterate the little warning I gave at the beginning for those of you who weren't there. Be mindful for this movement because we will be bending forward and coming back. You want to make sure you don't put strain on your spine. And if you have, particularly if you have back issue, if you have herniated disc or anything, be very mindful of how you're doing the movement, and I'll actually give you a variation to do first to make sure you're not putting any tension on your spine. And then gradually, as you improve the ability to do the movement, then we can try to do the whole thing without bending the spine. So I'm gonna demonstrate first what you should not do, just so that everybody's clear. Do not do this part. So as we will come down forward, we try to maintain the spine elongated and straight as much as possible. The legs are straight. And we'll be bringing our hand as low as possible. If you can bring them down, touch the ground, great. If you can't, just stay up, that's fine. And if you can go down while keeping the legs straight and even go towards your heels, then that's even better. It will help to stretch. This is just a demonstration, don't do it yet. The part when we come back up, you want to make sure you're not lifting your back and creating a lot of pressure as you're going back up. So you don't want to use your back to go up. If you have back issue, when you're here, bend your knees a little bit, come and sit in order to go back up. Just a regular safety precaution whenever you have something heavy to lift. You never want to lift with your back. You're going to hurt yourself. You want to bend, bring your weight, and then keep it closer to you so that it's easier. So if you have back issue, this is how you're going to do the movement for now. As you are coming down, wherever you can, bend your knees, go back up, and then we'll see the next part of the movement. If you don't have back issue, if your back is strong and your spine can be straight, the way we do the movement as we're straightening the spine actually here as we inhale, keeping the rotation from the hips, pointing down, going down as low as you can, using this axis to rotate back. So I'm basically using the back of my legs and the perineum to pull myself back up without feeling any tension through the spine so that I can come back down and sit and then go back. So this is still the demonstration phase. Don't get into it yet. I'll let you know when. So the full movement would be inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So if you have back issue, once we're back down, bend the knees, sit down, up, and go back up. So I'm going to do it this way a few times at first, and then we're going to do it together with the full movement for those of you who can. So again, let's get into it. First phase, we're inhaling, feeling the rising through the body all the way up, feeling how the body is extended. And here it's almost like if there's something and we're about to dive above. So coming down, keeping the back of the leg straight. I'll do it a little higher. Bringing the hands towards the back, keeping the leg here, bending at the knees just to bring us back up, sitting into our legs, and then coming back up gently. So this is the less risky version. Inhale, up, exhale, keeping the back straight, bringing the hands towards the back, bending the knee, go back up, sit, exhale. So the breathing is in 4 time. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Again, inhale, exhale. Bending, relaxing, inhale, keeping the spine straight. Sitting, exhale. So if you have back issue, keep doing it this way to make sure you don't put any strain on your lower back. If your spine is strong and you're able to maintain the spine straight without forcing with your back, we'll do the full movement. Inhale, straight legs, exhale, going down as far as you can. Inhale, back up and sit. Exhale, inhale, exhale. In, out. Inhale, exhale. In, out. One more. Good, and take a little break. So we're not going to do too many repetitions at once, just to not put any pressure on the back. Usually you have to go gradually with this. You can, as you're stretching and flexibility, I should say, of the back line of the Tai Yang channel becomes greater, you can go further and further back. If at first even going here is a little difficult, then maintain it a little softer. Adapt to your own capacity. Any questions so far? If you have any doubts about any particular issue that you have, let me know, and I'll try to guide you as best as possible. So I have a question for you. How's first this rising, connecting up before diving forward? How's the rising sensation? Was doing the first movement helpful to kind of feel this before going any further? Because as I said, this movement is a little more complete or complex. There's a bit more to it. So making sure that the details are passed properly onto you through this way of teaching, which is a little bit different. Hi, Lene. I don't know if you were late. I saw your comment coming in fairly quickly. First part helped showing the connection to heaven happen. First part is good. Excellent. Thank you, Beth. Anybody else? Oh. And then diving deeper. Good. No question. All right, let's keep going. So let's go back to it. The stretch through the legs, through the body, this gentle elongation as we're reaching up. As you're gonna start to do it more, that rising of the chi filling you up will become more intense. One aspect we want to be mindful of also, and that's why we want to bring the awareness more through the back and the elongation of the spine, is so that we don't get the pushing out of the chest, which usually comes with tension from the back. So if we have tension in the back and we try to rise the chi a little more intensely, then that bending here, the chi can't really pass and is now pushed towards the stomach or towards the chest, depending where the tension is in the spine, and that can create very uncomfortable sensation. So if you feel that it gets not very kind of almost anxiety-ish sensation, pressure in the chest or anything, it's usually because you're bending too much. So bring it back a bit more vertical. And then here, when you go down, make sure that the palms are facing down and allow the extended arm to kind of push everything as you're going down, allowing the chi to sink and reach through the tips of the finger into the ground under the feet and going back. If you can't go very low, keep your legs a little higher. Even if your hands are about at knee height, that's fine. Adapt it to your capacity. If you're able to go dive in deeper, really keep that extension and touch the ground all the way up to your heels, then back forward, sit and relax. If it's higher, up, then bend a little bit your knees so you don't put pressure on your spine, sitting down and coming back. So let's talk a little bit more about the second half of the movement, the rising, sitting, and coming here. I'll start just from the higher position because it's a little easier to follow for everyone. So from here, as I'm coming back, I want, again, make sure that it's not my back that's trying to lift me. So bending the knees a little bit might be helpful at first to feel this rising. And once my arms are about at shoulder height, I let my elbow drop and I bend my knees to fall into a seated position. Almost feel like I'm in a big chair like this one. I'm sitting with my arms being supported. So this same kind of idea from here, coming back up and sitting in the chi. Since we have this rising, connecting up, allowing the chi from heaven to sink deeper into the earth, as I'm relaxing, I want to feel this comeback of the earth, chi filling me up, and it really feels thick. There's this sensation of being supported. There's this buoyancy feeling through it, almost like if there's water all around us and we're really just floating in the water, almost as feel or palpable as a chair that we're sitting on that has some rest on our arm. This is also one of the main Zanzuan training, posture training from the Shaolin Qigong. Sorry, what's going on with my voice? From the Shaolin Qigong that Professor Lin trained before he created Taiji Qigong Shibashi, which has this posture as the main posture. The height can be adapted if we do the posture training, but the idea here as we go up is to sit and feel the sensation of the chi supporting us before we relax up and allow it to reconnect up and down. And here, up, rising to heaven, exhale, sinking, allowing the chi to go down deep into the earth, up, keeping the movement from the hips to get the body back up and sitting into the chi. And then once we're feeling it, exhale, allowing it to go back down through the earth so that we have the bounce back for the next movement, turning the palm forward, exhale, sinking into the earth, inhale, allowing the chi to rise and sitting into it, exhale, bringing it back on both sides. So if I'm doing a more intense version, adapt it to your capacity. Inhale, rising, exhale, deep into the earth, coming back, sitting up and down. And again, if you have back issue, you can do smaller movement. Up, bend your knee, come back, making it easier, and down. Again, softer version. Up, not going down too far, especially turning through the hips, not tensing up the back. Bending the knees, up, sitting, and down. And once more, the full version for those of you who have the capacity. Up. And one more. Good. Let me see the questions that was written. Yes, so is it the breathing that helps to come back? Good point, I didn't mention that. So, as we're after the first exhale, using the breath through the lower abdomen will help to maintain structure, helps to open up and support the lumbar, which will kind of bring us up back a lot more easier, especially if we do it with the leg extended. If we're bending the knee, this breathing will also kind of help to feel and feel at the same time kind of this heaviness through the lower body, connecting it to the legs so that the lumbar area is supported. So as usual, the abdominal breathing is an essential part of this because of the support that it gives through the whole abdomen area. Here, inhaling, exhaling, making sure we're not collapsing here on the exhale, but keeping the strength through the torso. Inhale, up, exhale. So that pulley from the perineum comes also with the inhale in the lower abdomen, which helps to straighten and allow the yang through the Tai Yang channel go down into the earth, which kind of pulls the body back up. So again, inhale, exhale. Abdominal breathing, inhale. Thoracic, exhale. To feel how the filling up of the lower abdomen help the structure to go back up more easily. Good point. Thank you for reminding me to mention it. Good. Any other question? How are you guys feeling? Not too intense for the back? Let me know. It's a tricky movement to teach in person, so hopefully doing it online still passes most of the important aspect through it so that first, you guys don't hurt yourself, that's the priority. Second, quality of the movement comes after. Not too much intense for the back as long as I remember the abdominal breathing. Yes. Feels really good. Excellent. Yeah. So, good. Go easy. It's an intense movement. This is set 3. It's not the most beginning form. Usually set 1 is a little easier. Set 2 was a bit more intense for the legs. Set 3, because we're connecting to heaven, is already considered a bit more intense, so on and so forth, until set 8. So, although it's not quite an advanced form, but it can be done at an advanced level because there's lots into it, just like set 1 can be done at an advanced level. And once you do it this way, you realize that it was always there, you just weren't aware of it. So hopefully by now you're able to gain a lot of details from it, even without it being too intense. A little bit of pain in the spine and the lower back. Only when I'm bending. Okay, so be mindful of this, not to bend too much and to allow this to be a little softer. Nice movements, quite different. Good. The abdominal inhalation on the way up just lifted me up. Yes. So yes, it's sometimes there's detail like this that with practice become kind of second nature. So remembering to mention it so that you guys can have it is important. Yes. So as always, breathing is the engine that drives everything. Not because it's a question of inhale, exhale, in the sense that the air is doing anything particular, the air is essential, but it's the physiology of how the body breathes that connects everything together and allows us to have this harmony. Fortunately, the body is designed in such a way that we don't need to always breathe in order to do certain movement, because then life would be hell. Imagine if every time you had to lift your arm, you had to inhale, and that was the only way you could lift your arms. Then if you're exhaling or talking, you can't because you're exhaling, so you need to stop and inhale and then lift your arm. It wouldn't make sense. So our body is able to move in many different ways regardless of how we're breathing. But when we do specific exercise and we connect the breath through the exercise, then we can find how this structure helps to have a lot of strength. And that goes in with the notion in Taiji Chuan where 4 ounces can move 1,000 pounds. There's a minimum amount of effort that is actually spread through the whole body, so the result is strong enough to do so. There's also, in this saying, there's the underlying notion that putting someone on balance makes it easier to push them off, but that's more for the martial side. But for the inner strength aspect, using the body as one unit makes everything works together, so we don't have one particular area that's tensing up to try to do the movement, but we have a chain reaction happening, making it easier and easier for each part of it. And the stronger the chain and the more pulley system we have involved in it, the lighter it gets to do that. Good. Thank you. You're welcome, Alex. All right, so let's do the whole movement together, all of them, 1 through 7. So we get the whole form and we integrate it more and more. And that will be the finishing of the class for today. I feel a little small and far in the camera, so being here should be better. All right, crossing hands together, palm facing up. Taking a moment here to just find our balance through the feet, find the center between the feet left and right. Feel the abdominal breathing. Feel how this connects with the sacrum through the spine. Feeling the stretch going through the spine up towards the top of the head. And on the exhale, the relaxation coming back into the lower abdomen. And on your next inhale, allowing the palm to rise, following the rising of the chi through the spine, through the body, all the way on top of the head. And turning the palm, exhale, gently coming down, rolling into the abdomen, inhaling, connecting with the tailbone, sacrum, spine, opening of the cranium bone, connecting by way to the Lao Gong, to heaven. Turning the palm, exhale, allowing the chi from the sky to sink through the body, center of the body and through the renmai, all the way to Hui Yin at the base of the perineum. Inhaling up. Exhale. All the way down to the perineum, feeling it as well towards the feet, deep into the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Feeling through all of the body, all channels being activated with the rising. Up. Exhale, sinking. One more, inhale. Up. Exhale. Palm facing down, gently closing the fist. Inhale, expanding the chest. Bringing back. Exhale, opening through the front, the side, releasing any tension from the chest. Coming back down, inhale. Exhale. In. Out. Following the sinking of the shoulder blade, the opening of the shoulder well. Connection from the shoulders all the way down to the feet. The expansion of the chest. The central axis from the top of the head to the center of the feet. One more, inhale. Exhale. Hands coming down, stepping to the left, waving left and right, stepping back, allowing the chi to sink and exit through the back. Up, grabbing the fresh chi, passing through the body and releasing the used chi behind us. Up, head is following the arms movement. We're not looking straight at the palm, we're just following the general direction and allowing the waist to turn. Inhale, feeling the rising up, sinking. Rising, sinking, rising, sinking. Inhale, up, exhale. In and out. One more, inhale. Exhale. Feet parallel, blooming lotus, blossoming lotus. Exhale. In, piercing up towards the sky, grabbing a chunk of it, letting it sink through the body, deep down into our roots and deep down all the way into the bones. Inhale, the rising, connecting to heaven. Exhale, sinking, feeding the body, allowing the chi to go deeper and deeper inside. In, out. One more, inhale. Exhale. Up. Looking at the sunset, inhale. Stepping, exhale. In. Out. In. In, out. One more each side. Inhale. Exhale. In, out. Pointing the needle at the bottom of the C. Inhale. Exhale. Up. Inhale. Exhale. In, out. Up. In, out. In, out. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rising. Exhale. Forward, down, and behind. Inhale. Using the breath to rise. And sinking the chi. Exhale, coming down. Inhale. Exhale. In. And sitting down. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. One more. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. Good. Taking a moment, feeling the flow of chi through the body, rising up to the head, connecting to heaven, the sinking on the exhale through the body, the feet down into the ground. Up and down. Good. And rubbing the palm together. If you feel that the back worked out a little, you can massage it a little bit, give it a little bit of tapping. Just relax. Up. Down the legs. Guiding any tension from the channel down towards the feet, into the ground. Good. Thank you, guys. Any last question? Let's see. Thank you, guys. Glad you enjoyed it. That's good. Cool. Up. So let me get the chair. So excellent. Well, thank you very much for being here. If you've made it through on the replay and you have any questions, please write them down in the comment below. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up on the clicky likey button so that YouTube know to promote the video to more people. And I'll be seeing you guys next week, Monday and Wednesday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. That's 2 p.m. Eastern time, or 8 p.m. Central Europe, 7 p.m. for UK. And something else somewhere else in the world that I don't know by heart. So hope you guys enjoyed it. It will be a pleasure to see you. Have a great weekend. Have a great moment whenever you're watching this video. Take care, guys. See you soon. Bye.